Hey everyone, and welcome. My name is Elia, and I'm here with GameOverJesse today because we have a new series requested by all of you and our Patreon supporters. In fact, this list of Zelda theories was sent in by our amazing Patreon supporter, Jacob. You'll notice that some of these theories are incredibly bad, and others are very well thought out. So we're going to go through and explain and discuss how great or horrible they are. On our podcast, the Hylian Gamescast, we've had similar videos with all of our faces on camera. However, this time we will have the theory on screen for everyone to read along. And we definitely encourage you to give your thoughts on all of these theories in the comments, and we will discuss them with you. If you come across a list that you would like us to discuss, then by all means, please send it to us on our Twitter or Instagram. Links will be in the description. And if you want to guarantee your theory or list getting discussed, then you ought to check out the Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/GameOverJesse. So, number 10 is confirmed split timelines. Before the almighty Hyrule Historia graced us with knowledge, the split timelines were only a theory. Oh gods, there were a lot of theories about split timelines before they were confirmed. There were anti-timeliners who believed the franchise was just using stock characters to create different multiverse stories. Split timeline debate was skyrocketing in March 2009 after a YouTuber, Ocarina Hero 10, uploaded a video arguing for a split timeline due to time paradoxes. Apparently, in the early 2000s, Nintendo of America posted a timeline. However, the timeline was vetoed by the Japanese game developers when they realized that they wanted to keep the timeline a secret for a long time. So fans continued to scramble for years to create a timeline that would make sense. The developers probably loved the passion and ingenuity of the fandom's imaginations that they rewarded us with the confirmation of split timelines. So this is like real old news that this is confirmed. Just say.
Yeah, like this is one that I would say was a theory, like split timeline or singular timeline. So it's not one of the things that, as I mentioned, is like, oh, Zelda theory confirmed there are cats in Twilight Princess. No, this is something that, although is common sense now, at one point it was a theory. So although it was confirmed a long time ago, it still does stay on. It could be on a theory list because it once was an actual theory. So yeah. Daniel, do you have any thoughts?
Guilty. I didn't actually. Okay, I never made videos about it at that time, but I definitely had a wall covered in sticky notes. And that's a real thing, and it's upsetting. But yes. There was two, I cannot remember their usernames, but there was two YouTubers I followed specifically. They were my favorite about the timeline debate, and it was actually one of them from each side of the debate. So there's one splittist and one linearist. And they would basically make rebuttal videos to each other. So one would make a video, the other would make a video in rebuttal to that, make a really good argument. The other would make a counter argument, a really good one too. Then the other would make a video, and so they would make these videos to each other, and they were I think what I liked about them, they would address each other and be very respectful. They're like, oh yeah, this guy, he made a really good video about this. Now, I don't agree with him, but you should check his video out. It was really great. And they were like very civil, despite the fact that they agreed with each other on none of their arguments, but they were very civilized, and it was great. And it was a great time, and I was definitely on the splittist side of things, just because Wind Waker and Twilight Princess both exist, but they are both games that occur. But then, yeah, I mean, it's Matt Fry says, Daniel, I think you told us this before. Yeah, I probably did. I probably have mentioned this.
I don't even remember you mentioning this.
Oh, maybe I haven't. Maybe I did on one of my streams. I don't know. I don't remember, Matt. I'm sorry, Matt Fry, but either way, yeah, it was a great time for us to speculate. We were all having a grand old time, and I was scribbling sticky notes and everything. And I actually was making plans to make a video about my timeline theory, which did not include the third timeline with the downfall timeline because I don't think anyone thought of that but Nintendo. And I think I was basically placing that whole timeline in with the child timeline, but I don't remember all the details of how. And then Hyrule Historia came out, and I was like, "Okay, I can't make this video anymore because it's wrong." But
take the
so yes, but it was a grand old time, everybody. I thought we were gonna do this quick, and then I proved myself wrong. Number 9, hey, should be true. Should be true. Masks in Majora's Masks are the word masks sounds really weird now. Masks in Majora's Mask are souls.
You don't say.
This is another
Are
one.
you sure?
This is another one that's like Zelda theory confirmed. You can find a dog in Hylian Castletown. Or Hyrule Castletown.
This was never a theory because it's just a thing that happened.
Yeah. Like finding dogs in Hyrule Castletown.
Exactly. The article says, I'll make this theory very easy to understand. You find a departed person, play a song, then boom, you have a mask that looks just like them. With a deal like that going on, how can the masks not be souls? You just explained what happens in the game, and the reason it's not a theory, it's just true. The song you play is called the Song of Healing, which was taught to you by the Happy Mask Salesman, who says that the song heals troubled spirits. You can play for spirits of the dead, and then they leave, and you are given a mask. Some could say it's just a gift, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, point is, okay, there are characters in the game who are ghosts. They are dead people. And then you play the song, and they're like, you've appeased my soul, have my mask, and you can channel my spirit, blah, blah. And then suddenly, you're a Goron, and everyone thinks you're that particular Goron because the mask contains his soul, you see. And the game doesn't hide that as some kind of secret. So it's just a thing that happens.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
They write, should be true.
But
okay? And then they end it with not really a theory.
So they know.
Oh, so why are they writing it?
They even, the last paragraph here, Majora's Mask may have the most theories just because of how dark the story and characters are. Some think Link is also departed. The Termina has the 5 stages of grief, though. That's just symbolism, not really a theory. So they're saying not really a theory about that. So, again, that's not really a theory because it is also a thing that's not true. Because actually, the creators of the game, Alanuma, has said that if you play through Majora's Mask and think that each area represents a certain single emotion, like the ones the 5 stages of grief are based off of, then you are literally playing the game wrong. Because they said they have... this isn't just me saying it either, it's them saying it. So don't get mad at me, get mad at the people that made the game. Because they said that they tried putting so many... I don't know what the best way to describe it is. They put so many different emotions in each of the areas that they purposefully wanted each individual area to evoke so many different emotions, not just one single emotion.
It's more complex than just the 5 stages of grief. Yes. It's far more complex.
Because
anger in the swamp, for example, like that one, grief, anger is not the only emotion you'll find in the swamp. If you just talk to one NPC in that whole area, anger is what you'll find because the Deku King is angry. But you also find the Deku Butler is going
really sad.
He's a lot of sorrow happening there. You also find the monkey is full of fear because he's tied up and about to be publicly executed. You'll find there's other ones. I can't think of all of them right now. The hunger, I guess. There's the bean salesman, the guy who eats beans. But anyways, the point is there's not just anger. There's so many things.
Yeah, just
in
like
every area. It's such a robust game. That's why it's so good. That's why people tout it as being so good. Because there's so much going on there, and a lot of it is
side quests, everything. Just
Yeah, and you can
So
even
much.
in all of the different areas. Maybe not Icona because there's only like a couple of different people there, but even with just those. Okay, well no, because there are like there's the king, right? His soldiers that you talk to. There's the ghost that teaches you the song. Who is very angry himself because he tells you, or no, maybe he's apologetic. I forgot which it is. One of them is like mad at the other, and then one's whatever.
One's sad, and he teaches you the Song of Storms, and then you meet the other composer brother. And I think flat. Maybe I have it backwards, but there's flat and sharp.
Yeah.
Musical references. One teaches you the Song of Storms, and you meet the other one who's super pissed. Plays what he calls the Song of Death, which we never get to learn. Hey, Link should learn that song. And then he starts playing that song, and you just start dying because it's the Song of Death, I guess. And then you play him the Song of Healing, and then he sort of gets over his stuff, and he's like, yeah, sorry about that, dude. My brother's feeling bad. Okay, I'll go work things out with him, I guess. And even there, that's even just that one character. There's not just one emotion.
Yeah. Hailey and Luke pointed out, don't forget embarrassment from Tingle's father. He's ashamed of Tingle.
Yeah, but that's another thing. Is just we're just gonna leave it with again, not our words, but the people who literally created the game, who understand it more than anyone. If you only attribute each of the single emotions or think that it is based off of the 5 stages of grief, then you are playing the game wrong. Again, from the creators themselves. They are literally telling you you are playing the game wrong. You do not understand it if you only think there is just the one emotion towards each. And then, with the 5 stages of grief itself, getting completely off the topic of Zelda, there was an interview a while back where the person who actually created the theory of the 5 stages of grief, or 5 stages, I don't know, whatever. Some people, 5 stages of death, 5 stages of grief. I think I misspoke earlier. But yes, the 5 stages of grief. The person who literally came up with it, not the person who came up with the original Zelda theory about the 5 stages of grief, but just the person who, the real world 5 stages of grief, said that they wished they had never created it. Because when someone experiences... When someone... Did you say Bob Ross?
Kubler-Ross, I think is the name of the person.
Yeah.
Kubler-Ross 5 stages of model of grief or something like that. And they were like, I wish I hadn't come up with that because it's not really true.
But there's an interview that was making the rounds a while back. I thought you said Bob Ross at first. Like
not Bob Ross.
The painter.
Like, I don't think he
came
did
up
that.
with the 5 stages of being a wholesome person.
Yeah. So basically, they said that because they had met so many different people that, like, after experiencing a tragedy or a death in their family or something, like a divorce, whatever it is that would cause them to get upset, everyone, like every individual person, handles it in their own unique way. Someone at first may be incredibly mad, someone at first may be incredibly depressed, someone may be incredibly happy, but it's just them, like, not exactly processing it the right way, like, so their emotions are just getting confused and they seem happy or excited even though deep down they're just depressed. So, like, everyone handles it in their own way. Like, you may mix up all of the different emotions, you may skip all of them, you may skip 1 or 2 of them, you may have them in the exact reverse. So yeah, not only is the theory for Zelda dumb, and the people who made the game literally said no, that's not right, but the person who came up with the original real world theory said, no, that's stupid, I wish I wouldn't have done it. Didn't really say it was stupid, but...
And the guy who made the videos that really popularized that theory also said he doesn't believe it, so...
Yeah, but then he continues putting out stuff.
Yes.
He's a big name YouTuber, and he has to be able to make money.
Yeah, there's literally interviews with him where he said that he doesn't really make videos on theories that he personally believes. He just makes videos of theories that he thinks are cool ideas. But even that itself, it's not a cool idea if the game that you're talking about easily disproves the theory.
And again, he never says that's a game fact.
Yeah. He always says it's a theory.
Yeah. It's a theory. And he stands by that.
So that theory, the theory itself, and someone saying, like him making the video about it, saying it's a cool theory, is like someone coming up with a theory that there are two different links in Ocarina of Time. That like when the game itself disproves what you're trying to say, you can't say it's a theory, and you can't even say it's a cool idea, because if the game itself disproves it, then no, it would be a cool idea if you came up with something that the game doesn't disprove. So don't be stupid, people, is the final thing that I'm saying. Don't be stupid. No.
So number 8,
yeah.
Jesse.
Number 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should be true.
This one.
Alka, I don't know how to pronounce it. That's the problem with when people create their own words or names for games that does not have voice acting, and then they have like a million different ways to pronounce it that no one really knows the way of. Anyways, Oka were once people/pets. According to legends, Hyrule was made by the Hylians, who, as we all know, are the closest race to the gods, but also, according to legend, long ago there was a race even closer to the gods, and some say these creatures made the Hylians. When they created the people of Hylia, they simultaneously created a new capital, a city that floated up in the heavens. Shad from Twilight Princess. The writer here says...
That's a mistranslation, by the way.
Yeah, my...
if you didn't know that, guys.
The person... What? Sorry?
That is what it says in the English version of the game, but that is a mistranslation. The Japanese version of the game doesn't say that the Uka, however you say it, created the Hylians. It says they helped create Hyrule in the Japanese version.
Interesting.
So it's a mistranslation. Oops. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
Because in the game coming right after this, we find out that... Actually, no, in Ocarina of Time tells us, and then Skyward Sword once again tells us. So literally every game except this one tells us that... And this is a character that's telling us this. So it's like, he doesn't know all of the facts. He's just giving you what he thinks he knows. Unlike when the Deku Tree or whoever tells you something, like they themselves are a god or a deity, so they would know. Anyways, we know for a fact the goddesses created the Hylians, the world, and everyone. So like, the Hylians didn't create Hyrule. They may have founded the kingdom of Hyrule and like built the castle and everything and started the kingdom, but even before that, they had Hyrule and the Hylians. The person that wrote this says, my favorite theory is that these little buggers were once a race of highly evolved people, but years of isolation made them devolve into these weird birds. Even better, they may be pets of the real Uka, since obviously they can't build, but there are bird perches everywhere in their sky city. These little freaks of nature certainly do give me a lot of questions.
That pet part makes sense because nothing in the city and the sky is built for creatures that size. They're built for like human-sized people.
Yeah.
Like
even the store.
Even the store.
They even have a store if no one...
It's funny, the dialogue for that store's shopkeeper is hilarious. If you read it, all the item descriptions, he's like, why do we have arrows? Uka can't use bows. And things like that. He's like, why did I order this stock? We can't use these. And it's the funniest thing. It's like that self-referential, like self-aware humor. I love it. It's hilarious.
Like almost breaking the fourth wall, but almost.
Yeah.
I'm actually,
not quite, but
after the... So we have the Agatha video coming out. I have a really long video on something else that I don't want to talk about just yet. But after that, I want to talk about... I have another video written about the city in the sky. So in a few weeks, maybe that'll be out. But it covers everything like every little teeny tiny detail that I could find, talking about, like, explaining what it is, how it came to be, and everything. All of the different evolutions that it had, everything. Yeah, so I think this is should be true. I don't.
Just
So
as long as
I
it's not the
think-
theory that I've heard where people are saying that it's Hylian stayed in the sky
And
after
turned into
Skyward Sword
birds.
red with the loft wings.
Oh no, that's
That's the worst theory
That's
I have ever
disgusting.
heard of. Yes, it is. I regret bringing it up, but someone once told me that on the internet, and I wanted to pierce my own ears with sewing needles and drain brain fluid out of my ears so I
Yeah.
wouldn't think about it any longer.
First of all,
and here I
birds
am.
are like their companion pet. Like, that's like breeding with your dog.
yeah.
Or your horse, who is also your dog.
Except it makes even less sense than that because Hylians are mammals and birds lay eggs.
Yeah.
Plot thickens.
But
Biology.
then you have the Breath of the Wild stuff with the Zora and the humans.
Yeah, but that's not
Also-
gonna work.
Also
Yeah.
gross, by the
Anyways,
way.
it
mentioned
starts
that, I
with
think, something
should
else.
be true.
It should.
So it says should be true here, but I think with the game itself and what we've learned from like Hyrule Historian, Zelda Encyclopedia, I think this is one where you can actually say they are wrong here. It's not should be true, it is true, because they say they were either people that lived there or pets of the people that lived there. And I think that is, if the game tells you, and then the book kind of tells you again, even though it is a mistranslation, whether either way, Shad would be correct here with this theory, because if he's wrong, like the mistranslation or whatever, and they were just the pets or whatever of the people that lived there, or if the translation is right and they were the original people that lived there, then either way, for this, the way they have this theory worded, it would be confirmed, because they were either pets of or the people who originally lived there. So yes, it would be confirmed, not should be true. Right?
Yep.
Yes, sorry, I was just addressing the chat here.
Yeah.
Kylie, Luke, and Javier were having a really neat discussion, which I kind of want to bring up. But I think I'm gonna just take it and pop it into our mailbag, because we should probably get through this list.
Yeah.
But I just want to let you guys know that I really like what that discussion is coming up with. I'm really liking these ideas here.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna copy paste to that and put it in our Google Doc. And when we do the mailbag part of it, I'm just gonna pretend it was a question you asked us, a really detailed question, and we're gonna talk about it. Cool.
Which
What's
is
the
gonna
next
be-
one, guys?
Well, it's actually going to be coming up next, because what these people did at The Gamer is they put a top 20 list, but it's really a top 19 list, so they could place
7 is blank.
another, so they could place yet another ad in here, because, and then all of the other theories that they have in here that aren't really theories, they're either things that are easily debunked, which doesn't make a theory, or they are things that are completely obvious in the game. Again, Twilight Princess being a sequel of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. So, with that being said, all of this would have realistically just been a top 5 list, but they ended up making up a bunch of padding or filler to make it a top 20 list. They even placed an ad as one of the numbers so that it would be a top 20 list. Almost as if they just went to like Zelda Wiki or other list videos and literally just copied and pasted a mix of what other things had so that they could have their own top 20. Another thing that suggests this is in one of these sections, they spell Gerudo right every single time.
Yeah.
But then in another section, they spell Gerudo wrong every single time, as if they went to 2 different sites that had lists that were written by 2 different people, one who spelled it right, one who spelled it wrong, and then just copied and pasted what both of them had. And that's how they come up with certain words misspelled, like every single time it's in this section, it is misspelled. but then right below it, there's one where it is spelled correctly every single time. And if there was an actual editor on this website, then he would have looked at that and be like, hey, why do you have these things misspelled? Or spelled differently? So, anyways, Daniel, do you want to take number 6? Since number 7 is just an ad. And it doesn't even show up as an ad for Ilya, apparently.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it's just blank for me.
Oh, this is great. This is another one that's basically like, hi, Zelda theory confirmed. There are dragons in the Zelda series. Like,
Yeah, it
yes,
is.
literally every single main home console Zelda game has dragons.
So,
Maybe not
confirmed.
Zelda 3.
Confirmed. Skyward Sword took place prior to Ocarina of Time.
Never a theory.
Yeah.
So here's the problem: is when you come up with a theory, it's maybe an idea you have about something that's not confirmed. So you can't just say something that happens and then just call it a theory. And I get that they're saying, no, this is confirmed. It really did happen. But the problem was that was never a secret. Hyrule Historia came out alongside Skyward Sword, and in all the interviews and everything, they were saying that it was a prequel and that it was a thing that happened before. And then why are you saying this? Because anyways, what the article...
Yeah. Before the game ever
says,
came out, Nintendo promoted it and discussed it being a prequel to every other game in the series. So,
baggy pants are a thing of the past. That's all you gotta remember. And it was the article reads. It says, once again, this was only a theory before Hyrule Historia came into being. Actually, it was only a theory before anything about the game existed.
Because it was confirmed before the game was
therefore it was never a theory.
It was just a part of the game. But thanks, article author person. Skyward Sword is actually, what do you know? It's the first game in the timeline, making it all 3 timelines since it's before the split in the timeline thing. Did you know that Ocarina of Time also was not the first game in the timeline before Skyward Sword occurred, because there's other games before that as well, but the person writing this article never paid attention to Zeldas before that happened, so they didn't care about that. Before Hyrule Historia confirmed that it was the first game, though, fans already had their suspicions, and by suspicions I mean I did no research writing this, and we already knew that. Since Skyward Sword was about Link's Master Sword, it only made sense that it predated Ocarina of Time, because you see, a game where you make something, where you literally create an item, and then it shows up in a different game and it is already created, you see, it has to make sense that this game came first, right? Because...
Don't forget,
I don't want to read.
Miyamoto literally telling you, like, before the game ever came out, before people even watched a trailer of the game, they said they wanted to make a prequel.
I don't want to read this article anymore.
I know.
Luckily, it's the last.
It only made sense that it predates Ocarina of Time. The sword is already present in that game. It's important to note that this is the first in the timeline thus far, meaning that future games could take place before Skyward Sword. The creators are hesitant to say anything is the first game because they want a lot of space for future creations. They're not hesitant to say that it's the first game. In fact, they've said it a lot of times, but thanks, author person, for writing this article. It makes me want to shoot myself in the freaking head. Okay, let's go. What's the next one?
Well, that was the last one.
What?
It's mailbag
That's the last.
time.
Oh, it's mailbag. Thank God.
We're only doing those few.
Oh, you mean we have to come back to this article later?
Story, actually. Oh, what just happened to my thing?
Can we delete this from the internet?
Okay.
Is there a way to do that?
Okay,
No.
so this is funny. One of my friends, like in real life, that knows like my actual name, commented on my "I hate Smash" video, even though I don't actually hate Smash. And he talked about, and I just replied with actually what you guys said earlier, because I never thought about it. He was like, he said it's more like a party game than it at heart than it is a fighting game. He's a really chill dude. Like, don't worry, he's not like it's a party game. And I actually just responded with what you guys are saying. I'm like, well, actually, a party game board or video means you take turns, smash, you're fighting until you die. I was like, just to put it simply, but
that said, I have played Smash at parties.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a true story.
Although he might be saying it's more of a party fighting, like hyphenated game. He might be meaning it that way, which I'd be like, cool, because I don't know anything about fighting games. But I just responded with that. I was like, oh, I was just talking about this with other people, with other friends.
Yeah.
What a coinkydink.
Also,
Yay.
before we move on, there was something that I was thinking. Oh, what was it?
I don't know. Jeez. Also, the theory that they were talking about in the chat, I just read over it. I've heard that theory. I love that theory.
I highlighted it in our Google Doc as this is the theory. I like this. So
I heard it a while back, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense."
Should we? Well, let's do the intro. We'll start the mailbag off with that one. I think because I just really want to go over it.
Oh, hey, it's coming back. Oh, jeez.
But what's coming back?
It's coming back.
Are you having a painful time?
No, it was the thing that I was going to talk about that went along with this list.
Hmm. That was my Goron sound.
Whoa, there was some NPC, like, not like a monster NPC sound that I accidentally made the sound of one. Oh, it was those sailors from Rusty Bucket Bay in Banjo-Kazooie.
What did they sound? What's the sound?
I don't know if I can make it. It's like, hi! I can't even do it properly now.
Okay.
But it just made me think of that.
Gotta channel your Grant Kirkhope and just...
So this made me think of...
Grant Kirkhope, yes.
I don't want to say who it was, because I don't want to...
It was me.
It was the guy that thinks I'm John.
I don't want people... No, I don't want people
John.
to end up hating on them, or...
It was me.
Like, I don't want to embarrass them publicly or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Then I guess, yeah, don't say their name.
It was...
Yeah.
It was John, wasn't it?
But there was a thing
I don't know
that
who John is.
Okay, so there was a thing that we talked about a while back, kind of going through and making fun of another list that another website had made about Zelda, where almost every single thing on the list that they had named off was completely wrong. Like, it was...
That's upsetting.
It was literally laughable and hysterical how much they had wrong. One of the things was that every link was related to the previous link, if you guys remember.
No. I don't know this specific video.
Yeah.
I feel like you've mentioned it to
we
me,
did
but I've heard that said.
We did a discussion video going over a bunch of the facts that we had written down that they had said, where almost everything was wrong. And there was, I wouldn't say it was a notable website or a large one. Like, it wasn't Zelda Dungeon Informer Universe or whatever, because I think they would have enough knowledge of the Zelda series to not know something like that. In fact, I think I even remember talking to a couple of people from some of the websites where they were even making fun of it because they understood that so much was wrong with the thing. But there was another website that did post it, and they were talking about, like, oh, blah 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 reveals blah 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 facts about Zelda, and I had went to them and was like, hey, I don't know if you noticed, but almost everything that they say in this video is wrong. So, like, it goes against what the games themselves have told us. Like, one of the things, again, being that every single link is a descendant of the previous link.
How can you be a descendant of someone if they're sent back in time and then don't exist in that timeline anymore?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or if they're dead.
Yeah.
Unless he somehow got with Milan before he died. He was 17.
Well, that's the one
of
case
the
I think it is canon.
Yeah.
Is Twilight Princess Link.
Well, I'm talking about the Downfall timeline.
Yeah.
Unless he got with someone before he died.
Yeah, because Link literally dies in the Downfall timeline.
But he dies at the end of the game. So you don't do that
but I
during
mean
the
at
game.
age 17.
Yeah.
Unless I've been playing wrong.
I know.
But anyway,
I missed something.
In the list, the people who made the original list were like some of the facts that they listed off went against exactly what they were saying as a fact, like 2 or 3 facts later. So like they would say one thing that would contradict another thing that they said later on, and it's like, what? Was this a joke? Like, but you're making a fact video and you're not using any actual facts. But anyways, the website that was like they had made their own story, being like, hey, this website, blah, 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 made a fact explaining Zelda, blah, blah, blah. And they were promoting it again, because I seen it and I was like, oh, this will be fun, because I went to see what they had said about it, thinking they would find even more stuff that was wrong with it. But they were promoting it as if everything that the other site was saying was completely true. So I had sent them a message being like, hey, this is like giving a few examples, like this is a few things that they said. Obviously this isn't right, and you know, it completely goes against exactly what they say just like 30 seconds later in the video. But in your thing, you're promoting it as if these are facts. You're spreading misinformation to the Zelda fan base. Someone could watch this and think it actually is true. When, like, I hope they knew that it wasn't, but who knows? I mean, if they were, I would hate to think that someone would willingly spread something that stupid. So at the same time, but at the same time, the site was kind of for like dedicated Zelda fans, and it was a Zelda website, so you would imagine they would know that it wasn't. So either
that's bad news.
Yeah, so either they didn't really know that it wasn't, so they were sharing it because maybe they thought it was true, because they didn't actually know anything about Zelda, or it could have been that despite knowing, they were still sharing it. Despite, again, it being a small website that, like, it's not like IGN or whatever, where if they choose to not post an article, that's like hundreds of dollars that they're missing out on because they don't post an article that could blow up or whatever. Because every single page that IGN and certain other websites post make them a lot of money. Whereas the smaller sites, if they don't post something, they miss out on like 30 cents. Who cares? So it's not as if they knew that it was wrong and they were doing it just to get the money that was coming from it. But
it's a shame though, like it's okay but if you're gonna post, like make a video about it or like a post about it or something like that, and you're like a dedicated site, it's probably best to do some research.
Yeah. And even then, like I think in the message, like I had said what they had wrong. That way they didn't have to look it up themselves. And they replied with something kind of dumb that was just like, I forgot what they said, but they had ended it with like, you do you and we'll do us, or something like that. And by that I meant, like, I took it as, because you could take that in any way. So the way that I was taking it was like, you do you, which meaning like I do me or whatever, as in I keep making the videos that I want to make, which are factual and like well researched and everything. And they'll keep being themselves, which means they'll keep spreading the misinformation and the lies and stuff in the Zelda community. Is how they made it seem whenever they said it. Which kind of made me sad, because if I go to a website to look at news, it's like Go Nintendo or Zelda Dungeon, Zelda Universe or whatever. Because they're the ones that are like up to date the most and have the most news. So it wasn't that I was really a fan of the website, but I kind of got along with the person who ran the website. So after they said that and basically said, no, you do you, and we'll continue posting whatever we want, despite knowing that it's not true, I took that as, okay, well, I don't need to associate with these people, because I don't want people to see me following them or see me talking about them and think that my videos and news videos and stuff are as stupid as the stuff that they post. Because it kind of, again, I don't want to say who they were exactly,
Right.
because it's really embarrassing, and then there'd be a lot of people that would be messaging them being like, how stupid are you? Why would you post this and spread lies and blah blah blah? You have a Zelda site, you don't know anything about Zelda. Because there were some people that did that to I think it was Zelda Informer a long time ago. But that was just mad people, because like they were posting it was one day posted a lot of Zelda fan theories, and they would never say the fan theories were true. They would just say, oh, this person has a video, and then they would explain what they said. They would never say like, oh, this video is 100% true. They would just post it. But then they would get people angry in the comments and be like, this is the stupidest thing ever. Or there would be other people arguing like, oh, this is an awesome theory, blah, blah, blah. And then, anyways,
honestly, the Zelda Informer comment sections, like especially the ones like on the actual Zelda Informer site, when I was working at Zelda Informer making videos for that, it was worse than YouTube comment sections, man. Like, stopped checking after a while because I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I get it, guys. You think you know everything.
And of course, when you're can hide behind a screen,
oh yeah,
you're more likely to say more things, and that goes for me too. I can be like that, so I usually have to stop and like walk away for a minute and be like, do I really want to say this? I'm hiding behind a screen right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think on the internet I'm a pretty upfront, but in person I'm pretty non-confrontational, so I get it. But yeah, when I was making videos for Zelda Informer, I remember there was one that was like a analysis video for the Life in the Ruins trailer for Breath of the Wild. It was the first time we saw Rito it was Rivali.
Oh yeah,
shows up on screen, right? And there was a bunch of people being like, "Oh, this is has to be the Foca from Zelda 2, and this has to be this," and whatever. And people were saying it can't be a Rito because it looked too different from Rito. And I made in the video saying, sometimes the simplest answer is the real one. I personally, it's not confirmed, but I think that this is a Rito, because if a fish can evolve into a bird, why can't a bird evolve into a more different kind of bird? And people were like, you're so stupid, you don't know what you're talking about, you take a fucking biology course. Oh, sorry, I swore, I'm sorry, but that was the tone of those comments. They're like, take a biology course, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 it doesn't make any sense. And guess what? I was right.
But it
is a Rito. Boom! You know what's fantastic is all those videos, I was right about everything. I hate to brag, guys, but slight brag there. So,
even I make the biology argument with can't have a relationship type thing, but that's the perfect example of, but what is biology in Zelda?
Yeah. But but just people are ridiculous in those comment sections, and they just tear anything up into pieces if given the chance. And it's like, hey guys, especially when we're in theory territory, like for a game that's not released yet, like, and I'm not even saying it's fact, I'm saying this is a theory, it might be this, blah blah blah. Geez, anyway, people on the internet are crazy, and I'm saying this as a person on the internet, so I'm crazy.
We are crazy.
So,
sorry, Jesse.
I guess
I derail everything.
To combine what I'm saying and what you're saying is, some people, for some reason, just refuse to believe that they are wrong when presented with the facts, and
that's where I was going to.
They end up saying these things that they know aren't true, that ends up making anything else that they post, whether it be a video, an article, or a comment, it kind of makes it into a joke, because it's like, well, if you were wrong about this, then how can I take you for this? And then it just gets embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because it's like you see someone that keeps talking about something that you and they both know is wrong, but they keep talking, and you're just like, stop. Like, you don't want other people to hear you saying this, and then everyone else think you're a joke too.
Yeah.
You know what makes you look really cool? When you say something and it turns out to be factually wrong, and you make a follow-up and say, guess what? I said this thing, and then I learned this. So guess what? It's actually this. I was wrong. Now I'm right. That makes you look cool. That's how you become cool, kids. That's how you become cool.
I thought Breath of the Wild timeline was in the downfall before A Link to the Past after Ocarina of Time, but that was just based off of what we learned from the trailers and interviews. And then I found out I was wrong, and it wasn't just in the Downfall timeline at that spot.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
I think even HMK said in one video, he was like, I'm pretty sure that's not Rito, that has something else with the whole Rivali thing. And then later he made a video. Turns out it is Rito. Whoops. Yeah. I thought it wasn't, but it is.
Right.
Yes.
Mailbag?
Yeah,
doesn't mean you have
mailbag.
to swear at people and... Yeah.
Ilya, would you like to do the mailbag intro?
I can do the intro, yes.
Yeah, give a thank you to the Patreon people.
Yes.
You don't have to say thank you before each one. You can just say thank you and list them.
Okay, getting ready. Hey everyone, it's me again, Ilya Rose. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. And you know what? If you're a fan of videos like this, you should totally subscribe and give this video a like and comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the GameOverJesse channel, please consider purchasing a GameOverJesse t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/GameOverJesse, and much, much more.